Meet Dr. Lois Lee. When she found 11-year-olds working as prostitutes in Hollywood, she took them home. She built the first drop-in center, ran street programs across the West, and created a world-class home for kids nationwide. Dr. Lois Lee didn't just start a movement, she's rescued over 17,000 kids from sex trafficking. Now she's pulling back the curtain so you can meet the kids who changed her life and hear the truths no one else will tell. Welcome to the Dr. Lois Lee Show.
Hi, I'm Dr. Lois Lee. Welcome to the Dr. Lois Lee Show. Today I have Victoria with me, and Victoria lived in the Children of the Night shelter home when she was just 13 years old. Let's look at some video clips of Victoria when she was 13 and came to Children of the Night.
But when I came to Children of the Night, their school, I don't know, I just love going to, I just look forward to going to school every day.
Hi, Victoria. Welcome.
Hello.
So I would say long time no see, but we just approved a scholarship for you, right?
Yes,
Tell me about your school. Tell me what you're doing today.
I am enrolled in college that you pay for. I am currently going for business management for my AA, and then I will go for project management for my BA.
And what do you plan to do with those degrees?
To be honest, I'm really not sure. I've been in the warehouse industry, so I was kind of like thinking about staying with that. But I feel like I have so much purpose in my life that I need to fulfill. So I feel like I can take that and do more than just work in a warehouse. So I haven't quite figured it out, but I definitely will by the time I'm done.
So you're grown now and you have children. How old are your children?
I have an almost 18-year-old.
Whoa.
Yeah. I have a 15-year-old, 14 and 13.
And how are they?
They're good. They're amazing. They've turned out great.
Great. I'm glad to hear that. And you're a good mom and you're a really good person. And we always knew that. Do you know that when you came to the shelter and Miss Ventura, our high school principal, tested you academically, that you tested higher than any child we had ever seen or have seen since?
What?
Yes, we knew your potential. We knew how bright you really, really were and still are. So I'm really excited about your education and finding this new venture in life because it was hard. I mean, how does a 13-year-old end up at Children of the Night?
Oh man, so many reasons. Lack of parenting. I had an absent present mother. And what I mean by that is that I was living with her and she was there, but she was never there. She was battling addictions, many that left me alone most times, neglected. And so that kind of put me in a situation where I was vulnerable and people noticed that and they took advantage of it. I didn't have my dad there. So in turn, I'm running to the streets and these men who are willing to give me the attention that I thought I needed at the time, at that young age of 12 and 13. So the streets gave me what my parents didn't.
And how did you make that link from the streets in Las Vegas to Children of the Night?
Oh man. So I was arrested at 13 years old for prostitution. And I think it started with the detectives and then my probation officer also decided it was probably best I come to you. So after I was there for about a couple weeks, maybe a month, I was sent to you guys.
You were in juvenile hall for a couple of weeks, a month?
Yeah.
So what was it like, 13 years old? They put you on an airplane. Who met you at the airport?
Someone obviously from Children of the Night, but I don't remember specifically who.
And then you came to the shelter. And what was it like? You came into this building. What did you think?
I was overwhelmed. I was very emotional. I had had outbursts, tantrums. I was just really overstimulated. I didn't, so I kind of needed a moment to adjust. And during that adjustment period, you guys supported me through all of that. It was tough. And then right after I had gone to you, my grandmother passed away. So not only am I trying to, go through the waves and the motions of being arrested for this and dealing with this and my grandma died and through all that I was truly supported by you guys.
And what was it like in the shelter for you? You were the youngest. Did the other kids pick on you or anything? Or
I don't think I was as relatable in the sense of like age gaps. I found that like the older girls kind of, I mean, they still were, everyone was nice to me though. I don't feel like I ever really had an issue with anybody, but
Mhm.
and maybe I was just in my own head and I, kind of like felt like the outsider for being as young as I was, but I have no complaints about anything and I think everything was good.
Good. I wasn't a violent place, but I would suspect some of the girls tried to mother you.
I'm not gonna say her name, but I'm still in contact with her today. Um, I remember I believe she was 17. She was definitely older than me. And we still keep in contact today.
Isn't that interesting?
It is.
How is she doing?
She's doing amazing. And even, through the internet and our communication, she's really my biggest, like, she feels like one of my biggest supporters. Anything, I have going on, she supports and loves. And, so I was able to take that as well from you guys.
How long were you with us the first time? Because you came several times.
I did. I know it was between 13 to 15. And I maybe in the midst of that, I believe I tried to go back home to my mom to work out. And I basically was right back to you guys. I ended up leaving at 15, and that was my last time there.
And where did you go when you were 15?
I ended up going back to the streets. Yeah.
And then I think we were involved in pulling you off the streets again. Was LAPD involved in that in terms of trying to find you?
Actually, I was 18 years old. I had ran away from my children's father because of the abuse, and I was just done. I had had my baby. He was young, was my little oh, and I knew that I needed to get away from his dad, and his dad had got locked up. So I took the opportunity, and I believe you guys are the ones that sent me out there to a program for mothers with children.
Mm-hmm.
And there was an incident that happened, and I ended up back on the streets with one of the worst pimps I've ever dealt with.
I remember when the police found you, it's like, a lot of people would think, well, the police will take away the baby or they'll arrest you or they'll rough you up. But none of that happened, did it?
No, they did have to find him though. I was separated from my son, so when I first met him, I guess he had taken my baby and left him with his mother. So not only were I called you guys called the police, we met up, and then they had to find my baby, and they found him,
And they gave them to you.
and they did.
They said, Lois, you've never seen anyone care for a baby the way this young girl cares for a baby.
Yeah,
Because a lot of people would just trigger it and say that child's going to foster care because of your involvement in the streets.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, you're an amazing young lady. I'm so proud of you. What would you say to someone in Congress if they said, what can we do about child prostitution? What can we do about that? What do you think they should do?
I think the biggest thing for me is harsher punishments. I feel like a lot of times I'll use the word Johns because that's what the terms we used back then. I feel like a lot of them get slaps on the hand, and the pimps too. I feel like they make it more harsher when you start crossing lines and counties and stuff like that. But I think even if it's in state, I feel like it needs to be more harshly punished and taken a lot more serious.
Mhm.
Because they think about, oh, it's just a prostitute. She's just out there selling her body. She's a nobody, and whatever. We'll just keep going. And I think they need to take it more serious.
So you'd like to see local government take a more active role in the penalties
Yes.
and prosecutions of pimps and even customers. How do you feel about customers?
At that time of being 13, I didn't really think anything of it. But as a grown adult, looking at my daughter, I always look at my daughter, and I think to myself, I couldn't imagine being her age or younger and doing the things that I've done. And I couldn't even imagine even more. These grown, you can tell I was 13. I was
Yes,
13. And
yes.
the fact that you still participated and thought it was okay to buy me or to solicit me, knowing that there needs to be harsher punishments. I think that's disgusting. I couldn't imagine the things that I've gone through, my daughter going through. And I don't know, it kind of like angers me.
What was the situation that got you finally to say, I'm done. I'm sick and tired and I'm tired of being sick and tired and I'm out.
It was that time that I got arrested at 18. By the time I got a hold of you guys, I remember sitting in the room with the cops, and they were looking at my body and the comments they were making. They could not believe it. I had bruises, and I remember getting hit so hard I couldn't hear out of my ear, and it was the most abusive, most messed up situation. And even further, my child, My child got taken away from me. I didn't know where he was at. And I was like, this is just not what I mean, this is just not what I want to do. This is not my
Mhm.
life. I have so much more, and it's not fair to my children, or excuse me, my child, that I continue this lifestyle. And I chose at that very moment when I left there that I was done. It was just over with for me.
Mhm.
It's not worth it. And that's just me.
So didn't you have abusive relationships after that? That was something that's a cycle that's been more difficult. I mean, getting out of prostitution was really having options, alternative lifestyles available to you, but getting away from abusive relationships is something that's very, very hard for many of our children because you come from that kind of environment. And so that went on for a number of years, right?
Even after that, for years and years, I still dealt with very abusive men. I still was unhealed and thought that, it was the attention, the love, and whatever came with it was okay as long as I had that. So yeah, I definitely struggle with that. And I remember you told me when I was younger, you told me my picker's off.
Your picker was broke.
And I'll never forget that. And it was for many years. It's different now, but I struggled with that for a while, and I thought still it was okay as long as I had that attention and love.
What are your hopes and dreams?
I have goals for myself and dreams, of course, finishing school and then really finding my place in life. But I think more so now for me is for my children. I want nothing but the world for them. I want them to have everything that I didn't have. And I strive every day to be the best parent that I can so that they can be that person. I support them and I don't care what it is. As long as it's positive and it's keeping them going, I support them and love them in every way so that they can have the life that I didn't have.
Do you know that the college scholarships are available to your children and your children's children?
Yes, I told her that she wants to go to the Navy, and I was like, "Well, if that doesn't, my daughter," and I was like, "If that doesn't work out," I was like, and I told her about that. As a matter of fact, when we were on the phone last night, you had said that, and I looked at her and I was like, "Hello." So yes, and my son too. He's very heavily involved in football, and he's supposed to have some scouts look at him, but if not, he's aware of that too.
Good, good. And we're starting a registry for our alumni for their kids and their we need their birth certificates to verify that they're in fact related to you. There are other people in the shelter that you maintained relationships with?
No, I think that she's the only one.
That's probably good, because I always used to encourage you not to maintain relationships.
I do remember that. I
Yeah,
do.
well, that was because if one kid would fall, then the other one would fall too. So,
And that's true because I don't know if you remember, but oh, I'm not again gonna say names, but there was a certain girl that was in the program who was on her way to the military. And I remember one time, and that's another time I left, she gave me her pimp's number, and I'm not really sure why. I think maybe because she knew I was like, I wanted to leave or I wanted to, something happened. I don't remember. But yeah, she gave me her pimp's number, and I ended up with him. And then, of course, back to you at some point. So I definitely understand that, but I was a lot younger. But this girl I keep in contact with, she's definitely a positive light. It's amazing.
good. I'm glad to hear that.
Let's talk about you. I'm gonna get emotional, but you literally saved me. Um, you gave and have given me a life that I would never have had. The experiences, the love, even until now at the ripe age of 35, Lois, the things that I do now and being in school, when I doubt myself or I think I can't, I always think about you. I feel like it's hard to say how I really want to feel, like how I really feel about you, Lois, but you're literally everything to me. I would not be where I'm at today if it wasn't for you. And that goes not just for me, but for a lot of people, Lois. The things you do not go unseen and not felt. You've literally saved lives for years, and you saved mine. And I can never really, really, truly express how I feel, but I want you to know that I love you. And I thank you for all that you've done for me and what you're doing for me now.
Thank you. Thank you. And I love you too. You're like my little kid.
You're my mom. You're the mom that I wish that I never had.
And it was absolutely my pleasure. I mean, I just felt helping you guys just really gave me great pleasure. and to watch you grow. And of course trip and fall down and pick you up again. And I know you'd always come into my office and you guys would hold your heads low and you'd go, "Oh no, I have to tell you something." And I'd say, "What did you get on your algebra test?" Because that's what's important.
So thank you. I love you so much. So much.
Thank you. Thank you for being part of my life because you taught me a lot. And I think you were the youngest child we ever had in the shelter. I know you were certainly the brightest. We always had really high hopes for you, so I'm very happy to be supporting you now at this place in your life. I want to do more, and I want to help the children.
They need you. People need you.
Oh, tell me about the holidays at Children of the Night. That must have been hard, living in a shelter and being away from home for the holidays. What was that like?
No, no, it actually wasn't. I remember waking up on Christmas and finding out that we were going to Disneyland, and not even that. Like, you told us that we can write down a list of everything that we wanted, and then we went to Disneyland. And I think it was hard in a shelter, but you made a way for us to be more comfortable. I remember waking up that morning and knowing that we were going to Disneyland. Like, you made that hard situation special. So they weren't hard. And even up until now, had I not been there, I haven't been to Disneyland since. So that experience that I was able to receive there, those are memories that I'll never forget, never. So no, it was hard, but you made a way to make it more better for us and special.
And I think Santa Claus woke you up Christmas morning with hot chocolate.
Yeah, yeah. Yes.
And what were the presents like when you went to the tree to open your presents?
Oh man. Well, I know that you told us to write a list. I know that we were able to write down the things that we wanted. So it was awesome.
That's the way it should have been. What else do you remember about being in the shelter, about the routines? You remember school, remember the outings?
I do. I remember Sunday softball.
Yes. Did you like softball or were you one of the ones who drug your feet behind you?
No, I enjoyed it. And then afterwards we had I think it was either hot dogs or hamburgers or
Barbecue,
something.
the cooks would come out and we'd do a family style barbecue. We always celebrated Sundays as family day. Yeah.
And I think Sundays, Sundays were hard. Those were the days where it's kind of we didn't have anything to do and we're kind of just hanging around. So having that moment or that experience and being able to go out and keep ourselves busy during those hard times um, definitely helped.
And what about the volunteers that came in every night to entertain you?
I remember one of the volunteers, I believe that she was HIV positive. And so she came in and helped us and educated us. And so yeah, I do remember that one. One other situation I do remember, I think it was Jennifer Garner. Garner? How do you say her
Yes,
name?
she came in.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I remember her. She was so sweet and so kind. I remember us all sitting at that big table. I don't remember what we were doing, but I do remember her coming.
Cutting things out of the newspaper and making, I don't know if they're paper dolls or something like that.
You're right. I think we actually know. I don't know if it was like a vision board or if it was like it was something kind of either describing ourselves or describing the things that we want. Yeah. You have great memory, Lois.
So, Victoria, what would you tell 13-year-old Victoria today?
Yesterday I had gone to a meeting and I was in the area of where everything had started transpiring. And I was literally like a couple streets away from it and I drove through the neighborhood and I thought to myself, I was like, that was never your fault. That was never your fault, you know? I don't know, I guess that's the thing that just keeps coming back on my mind is it was never my fault. I would have told myself that, I don't know, this is kind of a hard question.
What if it was another 13-year-old? What would you say to her today?
I guess I can use my daughter. Lowe's, I don't know. I find myself having a hard time answering this question and I don't know why. That she's loved, that she's worth it. I'll tell my daughter. I tell my daughter all the time, she's amazing, she's beautiful. She has the entire world in her hands and she doesn't even realize it. I would encourage her to just keep going.
So, tell me about your bedroom at the shelter.
Oh man. So in the room we had two girls. There was two girls, one bedroom, and then we had our own bathroom. I think that helped it too, instead of cramming a bunch of girls into one room and making them get along and stuff like that. That also gave us a sense of privacy and a sense of normalcy. Again, you found a way to make a situation better. So with that, us having our own room, that's our privacy and kind of our getaway at times. Although I know we had to wake up and we couldn't go back to our rooms until a certain time. But still, at that end of the day, that was kind of our time to unwind and be ourselves and kind of get away from everything and decompose. And if we were in the room with a girl that we were okay with, we would talk or do hair or I can appreciate that. That instead of being crammed into a room full of girls, it gave us like we were almost in our own house, in our own room, and we could be the young girls that we were.
You know, when we talk about the Children of the Night shelter, people have this vision of what a shelter is and what it's like, but it really was more than that, wasn't it? It was a home.
It was. It was most definitely a home.
How would you distinguish that from a regular shelter when you're trying to explain people what it was like? I mean, I believe that was the solution to how we should treat children who've been prostituted. We spent a lot of money on them, and now today the state, forces them into social services, which I think is good because there's services there. It's too bad that their services are not very good, but at least they're in a system of care where other kids are. But how would you distinguish Children of the Night's home and a shelter?
Oh man, so different. In that center or in Children of the Night, we were loved, we were cared for, we actually mattered. You made us feel and know that we mattered. We had on-site school, so we didn't have to go anywhere. If there was any doctor's appointments, dentists, it was like we almost had a normal, it was like a normal childhood. Anything that we needed, you guys literally catered to us. Literally, that's what it felt like. Not only were, and that was a really tough situation to be in. And we were literally, I'd have to say the best way to describe it is we were catered to. We weren't just throwaways or you were just there to collect the money. You really, truly, truly made us feel like we mattered. And you cared about our education. You made sure that we went to school. We had to go to school, but you also gave us moments of that fun and that getaway. Our Friday outings. Every Friday we would go on an outing, whether it was the movies, amusement parks, bowling. When you ask how different it is, I've never have I ever been or have I ever heard of a shelter like you had given us.
Did you go snowboarding with us?
I did. I did go skiing. And that was yeah, that was so fun. That's what and going back, these are the experiences that I've never experienced since and that I would have never ever experienced had it not been for you, Lois. Again, the gratitude to you.
Thank you. What's important to me is that you all do well and that it made a difference.
I want to add this on really quick. I I went to go pick up my books yesterday. My books were almost $400, and I looked to my daughter and I was like, if it wasn't for you, Lois, I genuinely could not be doing what I'm doing in school. Not only do you pay my tuition, but you pay my books. So when I'm done with this degree and the other one, I owe it all to you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for walking beside me and never giving up on America's children. Please like and subscribe to this podcast. There are a lot more to come.